This show is absolutely hell-bent on destroying the legacy of Nick Fury. Hello everyone, this is Icy Abyss here, and today we are going to talk about Secret Invasion Episode 2. This episode starts with Gravik bringing the council together and explaining, surprise surprise, he's planning another terrorist attack. It feels like that is all he does. I think when he was born, he used firecrackers to get out of his mom. Anyways, he also explains that after this terrorist attack, the heroes of the earth will come for them. I don't know who he's referring to because after the Avengers Endgame, we have literally never seen any force of heroes gathered together on the big screen. Anyways, he says that to counter these heroes, the Skrulls will also have to become super by using super DNA. So now not only do they change their appearance, but they also change their powers. Well, that's where the intro of this show starts, and you know what, I've been really negative about this show overall, but I have to say something positive, that would be the intro of this show. Now, I said it before that I wasn't a big fan of it being made by AI, as if Marvel didn't have the budget to get a proper intro made, but that fact aside, I think the music and the vibe of the intro is absolutely amazing. It would have been more refined if it was made by real humans rather than cheaply made by an AI, but yeah, I really love the intro and the art and the music. It's really disappointing that the rest of the show doesn't have the same energy. After the intro, we get another flashback sequence which yet again establishes nothing other than the fact that Nick Fury and Vara meet each other at some restaurant and they flirt. Then at present day, Nick Fury asks Vara, his wife, if she has been in contact with Gravik, and she starts to counter Nick Fury by saying how horrible he was for voluntarily leaving her after the blip was undone. Now if you ask me, this was the perfect time for Fury to actually start explaining his absence after the blip, which he never does. This is actually one of the big mysteries of this show, their hidden card if you will. But then again, Fury not explaining his intentions to his wife might also suggest that he doesn't completely trust her. After that, Gravik goes to meet with Talos and Emilia Clarke. Also, he doesn't trust Emilia, so in the car Gravik talks about his terrorist attack and Emilia immediately writes it down, which she will later give to her father, which would prove that she is in fact the traitor, but we'll get to that later. Talos and Gravik meet and Gravik starts talking about some painting, and I don't know, like maybe I'm just over Marvel and I don't know it yet, or maybe Marvel is just making bad movies. I just don't know, but everything that Gravik says sounds absolutely shite to me. You have these opportunities to solidify him as a proper character, and I don't know man, it's just really hard to take him seriously. I would say that after phase 3, Marvel has never been able to make a good, competent villain. And sadly, Gravik also stands in a long line of failed Marvel villains. Anyways, later Gravik threatens Talos that he could kill Emilia, and Talos tries to fight him, and we get the same scene that we saw in the trailer of this show. Everyone around Talos and Gravik turns into Gravik. Gravik signals his men to stand down and Talos also sits down. You should have probably enjoyed that scene because that few seconds of a scene is the most action that you're going to get in this episode. Because mostly everyone just sits and talks in these episodes, just like the previous episodes. Okay, so just now I checked the budget for this show and they spent a resounding $211 million on this piece of crap. I cannot begin to imagine where all that money went. You barely have any CGI in this show. There's no action in these 3 episodes. So where did all that money go? I swear to God, if the last 3 episodes of this show are not CGI filled to the brim, then Marvel needs to launch an investigation into who has been stealing its money. Anyways, where were we again? Yeah, Gravik and Talos were talking about useless things. Basically, Gravik is like, hell yeah, I'm awesome and I'm the villain of this show. I'm gonna kill humans, haha. And Talos is like, no, you can't do that. That's wrong and stuff, man. You can't do that, man. Then Gravik is like, haha, your daughter works for me. And then Talos stabs Gravik's hand and he leaves. Gravik heals his hand, which actually reminds me of extremist terrorist from the Iron Man 3. So yeah, I guess Gravik has already done done plenty of experiments on himself. When Talos leaves, Emilia Clarke hands him the phone with the information about the attack. Then Talos is at a restaurant and Fury comes in and Talos makes Fury apologize to him because of their last interaction, where Fury got furious with Talos bringing 1 million Skrulls on this planet. So Fury apologizes and they tag team their way to stop the terrorist attack. Along the way in the car, Fury says that he has been cleaning the mess for Talos for years, which makes Talos angry, and he starts telling Fury, or rather the audience, how useless Nick Fury is. That the only reason he got promotions in S.H.I.E.L.D. was because he hired 9 Skrulls to find information for him. Every time Nick Fury made some accomplishment, it was because he had Skrulls working for him. So yeah, there you go, Marvel has successfully ruined yet another character that you liked. I really thought I would have more to vent about this scene, but honestly I don't even have the energy to say how horrible this scene was. It just speaks for itself. Anyways, later Nick Fury goes to the house of the guy that was going to launch the missiles. They figure out that he's a Skrull. Then Talos shoots him, then calls Emilia Clarke to ask for the code to stop the missiles. She gives Talos the code and they successfully stop the attack. Emilia runs away from their sanctuary, but Gravik confronts her and shoots her and then leaves her in the middle of the road where anyone can walk and come across a dead green alien. But I am just gonna assume that she's not dead because the villain stupidly walking away without double checking if he's finished his job or not is always an indication that the character will survive. So maybe we might see more of Emilia Clarke in the future episodes if you care about her at all. Also, Nick Fury's wife goes to a bank vault to get her gun. Then she calls someone asking to meet Gravik and the guy says that she can't meet with him. The voice sounds familiar to Rhodey, so yeah, I guess that would explain why Rhodey fired Nick Fury without hearing him out at all. That's where this episode ends, and man, I cannot wait how they will continue to humiliate Nick Fury in the future episodes. Also can't wait to see how much of the $200 million they will be using on the CGI. But yeah, I guess there is one more thing that I'm actually looking forward to. That is the reason why Nick Fury didn't keep his promise to the Skrulls and why Nick Fury went to space after the blip. My theory for now is that he might be working on finding the Skrulls a new home right after the blip, because he probably felt guilty about not finding them a home and then just straight up dying. I think he realized his mortality and the first thing he wanted to do after he came back from the blip was to find a home for the Skrulls. Again, that is my theory. I know that the president mentioned that Nick Fury was working on some aero defense system in the Saber space station, but I think Nick Fury being Nick Fury was actually finding a home for the Skrulls. So I am just gonna sit here and wait for the show to reveal this. Anywho, this is it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, it's time for a goodbye.